Welcome back to However, Comma, the show that asks the question, can this be real? And then concludes, yes, it can.
Chruch took a bench slap to the face from SCOTUS this week. Now he is grounded from using those tariffs without adult supervision.
And of course, Trump handled it with all the dignity and grace we've come to expect. And I was like, that sounds about right for a 3-year-old. And then we solved Social Security again!
Yay! Well, we contemplate a tariff refund plan that may be worth a look.
Am I crazy?
Okay.
Am I crazy?
No. Just for president.
Kristi Noem allegedly fires a Coast Guard pilot over her emotional support blanket, and then has to unfire him when she remembers she does not, in fact, know how to fly a plane.
And we got no shortage of detours. Got your Olympic cheating scandals, cartel uprisings, and new questions raised by the DOJ's selective withholding of Epstein files.
Stay tuned to find out what those files have in common.
Something tells me that it's the tip of the iceberg. Like, there's so many files that... What?
Nothing, I'm just pushing it over.
Lots to unpack this week.
And last week.
I mean, next week, probably.
Probably. Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Jack Brett.
We're neurodivergent besties on either side of political center.
Join us as we inexpertly debate and fact-check our way to some kind of agreeance.
Or at least an understandment.
Let's get into it.
So, Jack Brett.
Jess.
The State of the Union is this evening.
I was hoping, kind of hoping you wouldn't have realized that, but yes.
Does that mean you do not want to watch it together?
My brain is like in paralysis right now with this question.
Fair enough.
Like,
So we could turn it into a drinking game very easily. But I get it.
That would be necessary if we do this. I would think that's that's a given. The reason I hesitate is no, I don't necessarily want to hear President Trump bloviate for 5 hours about everything except for the one thing we literally want to hear about. But it's in conflict with the part of my brain that says, well, any content creator worth their stripes would just want to consume this content as early as possible and have a thing to say about it, before all of the other would be. I feel like the responsible thing to say would be to slump my shoulders in defeat and say, yes, let us go ahead and drink our way through this thing.
Okay, so I have a proposal then.
Mm-hmm.
What if we make a bingo card, and then by 9:00 Eastern, if we're in a spot where we feel we can stop what we're talking about and watch it, maybe we watch it, because it is only an hour. It's not 5 hours long.
I mean,
it feels like 5 hours.
Well, does it actually have a time limit? Because I feel like he went on for a long time last year.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half, depending on how long people clap.
Ah, I see.
Well, that's what Perplexity said anyways.
Interesting.
But, so we can have the fun of putting together a bingo card, and then after the fact, seeing how close we got, next Tuesday we can pick out the things that we got right. If we don't feel like we want to watch it come 9:00.
That sounds good to me. And I think, this one promises to be just bananas, bananas, like.
I mean, we all know that he's not gonna say anything that's wrong with the State of the Union, right? He's not gonna.
Right.
I don't think he's gonna address anything we actually want to hear about. It's not like we can ask him questions. So I totally understand skipping it if you want, but if we do feel like it, we can turn it into a drinking game and yell at the television in real time.
And I think that sounds like a good plan. And for the purposes of content creation, in our best interests to watch it in real time.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, that will be the plan that we go with, and we'll see how we feel around 9. 3 hours.
My only non-political stuff and thing, it has to do with my boyfriend, Scott Galloway. I mean, I feel like, I talk about him so much, we're past the point of a man crush at this point. He's like my obsession, my reason I breathe. Yeah. So you and I used to have endless arguments about the muffin/pie joke.
Oh no! Damn it! I don't like where this is going.
The way I have heard the joke was 2 muffins are sitting in the oven. One says to the other, "Is it hot in here?" The other says, "Oh my God, a talking muffin!" And Jess heard it another way from her BFF.
A better way.
In her opinion, and I don't necessarily. I mean, I used to defend this the muffin version of this joke so fervently. I mean, it was fun, but it was just arguing for the sake of arguing. In hindsight, I feel neither is really superior to the other. I mean, in literary terms, they say you should not introduce a character unless you mean to use them. So if we picture 6 muffins in the oven and only 2 of them actually participate in the plot, then you're kind of your brain is worried about steel manning your position on the
Nobody makes 2 muffins, Jack Brett.
Exactly. And if it's just 2 pies, then your mind is focused. You can enjoy the joke more because you're not wondering what these other muffins are doing there. And I can see the logic to that. I personally am. I guess I choose the muffin version of the joke purely for nostalgia. It was a laugh that I shared with my now late mother, and that doesn't mean that version of the joke is superior. It just simply means I have a personal fondness for it. But all that to say, Scott Galloway told he almost always opens his podcast with a joke, a corny dad joke of some kind, and he told the muffin version of the joke, and I was just like, yes.
Vindication.
I mean, it's no more vindication than my petty experiment where I just Googled, oh my God, a talking into a search bar and took a screenshot that muffin was the first result.
That's based on your algorithm, Jack Brett, and your algorithm would say muffin.
You're probably right about that.
Have you heard about Canada cheating at curling?
No.
Okay. So, Winter Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Sweden has known that they've been cheating for a long time, not just this Winter Olympics. And they've tried to talk to officials about it, and no one did anything. So they set up their own camera to catch an angle that the official cameras don't actually get, to catch them in the act, and they did.
Really?
And so it's basically CSI curling now. And so the entire world is just drinking in all the drama over Canada cheating. And it's not even anything, I don't know how to even explain it. All he does, it's the guy who, do you know what curling is? And have you seen it? Okay. So the guy that starts the push off, right?
Uh-huh.
That guy was touching the stone after he let go of it.
Huh.
And I guess that's against the rules and technically is them cheating. And Canada's throwing a fit about it, but everyone else is just
yeah, dish. Wow, okay.
Canada's cheating. Of all the countries, Canada.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a matter of Sweden as a stickler. They're just sure, this is technically my brain went to something like a magnetism, like something so very, very obviously cheating, and rather than just like technically in violation of this, you're supposed to let go at this particular time instead of this. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I guess it maybe just did.
Apparently, it can make a big difference.
Okay. Yeah.
So, they're not wrong to call it out, I don't think.
Sure. Yeah. That's interesting that they went all forensic CSI on it then.
Yeah. And all of the memes are on point. They're so good.
What are some examples of these memes?
Let me see if I don't know if I saved it. Hold on, let me look.
Sorry, I was just trying to tee you up because I thought you had one.
You know, I should have known. I'm better than this. The image that people reference a lot is the one that Sweden caught where he's just pushing it. So it's just a very close up of this guy's face with his finger out. And so everyone's cut that out and are placing it in other videos when people fall down. There's one where like a figure skater falls and somebody animated that guy coming in and poking him and then he falls, like stuff like that. It's good. I don't know how I did not save. I will find some to put up in the video for our podcast.
Deal.
Because they're so good.
Are you ready for the all steel no straw portion?
Shall we go?
Let's do this.
Okay.
Shall I start or you start?
I have a pretty good aperitif, I think.
Okay. A friend of mine.
Gotta say the whole thing. Gotta say the whole thing.
I have this friend who is not familiar with the term aperitif. If you were me, who is smart, and you were tasked with explaining to my friend who has never heard this term and does not know what it means, how would you recommend I approach the situation?
Well, here's the situation. I'm not certain I used that correctly.
Okay, so we're kind of in the same boat here. Let's just Google it.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, aperitif actually refers to a small drink of perhaps liqueur. I was thinking of the word amuse-bouche.
Amuse-bouche, I see.
Or maybe two words, whatever that is.
I'm pretty sure my friend does not know that word either.
This one I do know. This one I can't explain to your friend. So when you go to your friend to explain to him what amuse-bouche is, basically just describe it like the appetizer to the appetizer. It's just a small little poof of a beginning for the meal that is about to be put in front of your face.
Okay. That helps put in context the sort of subject you're describing. You're not saying it's going to dominate like the whole conversation. You're saying before we get into the meat and potatoes, here's a light sort of like kind of barely treading in political territory. Is that right?
Exactly. It's just like a one bite appetizer.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard of Kristi Noem's freak out over losing her personal blanket? Okay.
I have, and I could not find that whole situation more hilarious.
What is happening? Like, okay, for the people who don't know what this is, it's a report from the Wall Street Journal and many other media people. So apparently Kristi Noem was flying somewhere and had to change planes. Her personal blanket got left behind on one of the other planes, and she became so upset that she fired the Coast Guard pilot for it. And then,
whoops,
after she realized there's no other pilots that can fly me home or wherever it is she was going, she rehired him.
Now that, I know it is like schadenfreudig and petty of me to say, but if the sort of afterlife you frequently describe is waiting for me, that is one conversation I absolutely would go back and watch.
Yep.
Kristi Noem tucking her little tail between her legs. and apologizing to the pilot that she just fired because she needs someone to fly the plane back.
Well, I'm certain she had one of her peons do it for her. She would never experience that situation, but just the look on her face when she knows she has to give this order must be... if we're gonna be petty about it.
Yes, and
sometimes we are. It should be noted that the DHS has denied this.
Yes.
But it's coming from several media outlets with several anonymous sources who were there for the conversation. Why would it would be beyond ridiculous to make this story up.
Yeah, I mean, two people talked anonymously, but they both gave the same details. Thus, it is corroborated. It's kind of like a Marie Antoinette moment too. Like it just so. Firing a Coast Guard pilot because were they responsible? Were they even like? I feel like the pilot flies the plane. They're not responsible for making sure that your personal items make it from one plane to the next. I don't know. Maybe that is part of his job description, and this firing was justified in some way. And
I wonder if there's if you don't have any flight attendants on board, then the pilot kind of just wears many hats, sort of thing.
Maybe that's a sort of service. If it was a Coast Guard pilot, how does the Department of Homeland Security secretary fire them?
Yeah.
Is he still part of the Coast Guard out even after she fires him from her detail? Does he just get placed somewhere else? I don't know.
It would be ridiculous if she refired him. He's got to still be working.
It's got to be an awkward flight home.
Yeah. And I would love to give her the benefit of the doubt. I've desperately been trying to find a way to give her the benefit of the doubt solely because it is doing the terrible work of reinforcing the worst stereotypes about women in power. Because these people are going to link your gender to this blanket story, even though this would be completely insane behavior no matter who did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be why couldn't you be better than this? Why couldn't you be better than this? It's so easy. Oh my God, it's so easy to be polite.
Anytime Trump is confronted about his sexism, his response is typically, well, I'll look at all of the female cabinet members that I've hired. I've created more jobs for women across the board. And just look at the women that he has hired. They're such a poor example of women in leadership. Pam Bondi much?
That bitch, though.
That bitch. Yeah.
It's basically why? Why are you doing this to us? Please stop. Please stop.
Ice Barbie.
I also did have a secondary semi-action item.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit more Don Lemon stuff that I found. And it does make this whole I was just there as a journalist line a lot harder to swallow.
Ah, okay.
It's video where he's in the car with his producer and his camera crew, etc. And they are literally talking about the fact that they can't go in and probably shouldn't go in.
I don't think we can go inside, right? No. No. We can stand outside.
So they're openly acknowledging that they're not supposed to go in, and they go in anyways. So he can say all day long that the video speaks for itself, because it does. It's him clearly acknowledging it, in my opinion. I know you don't quite care as much about it, but I did want to add that to the conversation.
Okay. And that does make a difference. I contended that it's unlikely, as I see it, that Don Lemon was aware that this was illegal. But yeah, this conversation sounds like it pretty neatly disproves that hypothesis. But in the larger sense, the question of whether Don Lemon is guilty or not, it is dwarfed, in my opinion, by the thing that they were protesting. So in my opinion, if at the end of the day that's the thing we're talking about, then Donald Trump has won by taking the spotlight off of the issue that he is trying to take the spotlight off.
Sure, but by doing it in the way that they did, they've dwarfed what their message is by breaking the law intentionally. You can protest that all day long, and you should. But what they were there to protest, they did in the wrong way, and I would like many more people to understand you're not helping your cause by doing it that way.
Gotcha.
So that's why I think it's important. But
Okay.
we do not need to continue to chatter about it.
Ready to move on to something else?
I'm ready to move on to something else.
Are you aware of, how could you not be aware? The Supreme Court of the United States has ruled the tariffs that have erased so much value from the U.S. economy, those that came upon us as of this holiday that Trump has labeled Liberation Day. They seemed sort of arbitrary in nature, as if they were LLM generated, and included places like an island that is inhabited only by penguins who, it just seems nonsensical that they would be subject to a tariff. It represents a fifth grade understanding of economics, and that's generous. It's like, I think he had some algorithm based on like our trade deficit, which Trump thinks is a bad thing. A good sort of analogy for that is I have a trade deficit with my hairstylist. I pay him to style my hair every week, and he does not purchase anything from me. That's like deciding that that's a bad thing. That just like shows a complete misunderstanding of the term trade deficit as I see it. But anyway, that was the logic. I'm not sure if like that is just something that maybe he is actually smarter than that, and that is just the sort of paper explanation, like here's a piece of paper with writing on it that explains what I'm going to do in case my minions have to go on camera and defend it. And perhaps it was always just his agenda to throw the weight of the U.S. economy around and bully other countries into giving us a better trade deal or giving him a Nobel Prize or whatever kind of like favors that he wants to solicit from these countries. But the Supreme Court, I don't know what has taken them so goddamn long, given that as long as they have been in place, American businesses have been failing left and right, unable to afford to import their mountain of inventory from China because there has been a arbitrarily chosen tariff slapped on them because of whatever side of the bed this guy woke up on today. Why it has taken the Supreme Court so long to take up this case and to take this action is beyond me, but I'm so happy that this has happened. It is such a win for the three-branch government.
The checks and balances system.
Yes, it is an example of democracy holding, and I am so encouraged by that, especially after all the Supreme Court decisions that I feel have been so obviously pro-Trump. I mean, maybe Trump's sort of lame duck status and his very weak poll numbers going into these midterms have empowered these Supreme Court justices like John Roberts and Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett, who you would think would be solid pro-Trump, to vote against him in this manner. Maybe this is a sign that his grip on the Republican Party is weakening. I sure hope that is the case. But yeah, what is your take?
So I read that they decided that and was very, very excited. Immediately went to see who said what. Then I remember reading a headline that says, in response to the SCOTUS ruling, Trump increases the tariffs to 15%. And I was like, that sounds about right for a 3-year-old.
I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1.
I don't know what you expected. That sounds exactly right for a 3-year-old.
Yeah. Did you hear that any part of his rant against the Supreme Court members who voted against him? He assembled the press and went through the stages of grief right before them. It was kind of he called these justices an embarrassment to their families and lapdogs of the radical left and the rhinos. Just basically like, the inverse of all the things that all the accusations normally leveraged at him.
Yep.
The $1 million, well, the $25 billion question at this point is all the money that they collected from the tariffs that has now been deemed illegal. It is considered an overpayment in principle, and so what is to be done with this money now? And is that the reason? Well, I know. Let's start with what happens to the money.
Great question, because I don't think they even know. Like, it should go back to the people, but that's impossible to track.
Yeah. I mean, so what I've heard is like the ones with receipts are the companies, the businesses that did the importing, and like there is, tariff. It's a line item in the bill that they can show to the United States government and so like a lot of these companies, I think FedEx is being most prominent among them, have already filed lawsuits to get this tariff money back. I imagine if anybody does reclaim a dime of this tariff money, they will have to fight the courts tooth and nail to get it. Like the Trump admin will not make it easy for them.
I honestly don't think that they should give it to the companies directly. I would contend that you see where the companies are and you give that money back to that region to do with public interests. Like, put it in the coffers of your public goods funds in the government, whatever region you're in.
How do they calculate how much goes to a particular region?
Well, I guess, if the company's like, I was thinking like wherever the headquarters of the company was, it would go there. But the consumers likely bought things everywhere in all the states, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great... So then we have to give it back federally somehow. Damn it. How could we give it back federally?
Yeah, I don't know how that would work exactly.
Pump it straight into Social Security.
Ooh.
The trust.
I kind of like that idea.
That is the solution, Jack Brett. Holy fuck, that's the solution. The refund goes to the Social Security trust. Am I crazy?
Okay.
Am I crazy?
No. Just for president.
Right? That makes sense.
I think like some folks would have a problem with that. I mean, these businesses, like especially businesses that went out of business because this tariff thing crippled them. Like, as the business owner, I would still feel like I'd been screwed.
But they upped the prices to cover it anyways. So the point is that even with the tariffs, the consumer suffers in the end because the companies adjust the price to account for the tariff.
In most cases, yeah. I mean, some companies like did eat as much of the cost of the tariffs as they could. But yeah, in general, like they did, like they would have no choice to pass that on to the consumer. Yeah,
straight into Social Security. That way everyone benefits from it. Literally.
I may have lost my business, but at least my kids have a chance of collecting Social Security in their lifetime.
You're literally giving it back to the American people.
Okay, I'll make that deal.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
It will.
And I guess the question on my mind is, why was Trump so angry? Is it... I mean, I can think of a few things, like maybe he had plans for this money which are now thwarted, or perhaps he just sees it as a slap in the face from the Supreme Court that he thought he was in such firm control of, and he just sees it as one of many signs that the levee is about to break with regard to his grip on the party. I think both are plausible. Maybe it's a little from column A, a little from column B.
Probably, yeah.
But mostly B, in my opinion.
What the fuck is going on in Mexico?
This story, so it was a few cycles ago, and it feels like ancient history, but that was a thing, isn't it? Like, people in Mexico are in danger because of violence, riots. What is happening?
2 days ago,
Mm.
the Mexican army killed the head guy of this major cartel.
Mm-hmm.
And the cartel up and retaliated right quick and set things on fire, and public transit is not happening, and they had to cancel schools because of all of the violence that the cartel was doing in all of these cities.
Wow. And it is not the Mexican army that's been retaliated against, but just the
citizenry.
Mexico at large, or has it been limited to one particular area?
Mostly Guadalajara, but it's branched out into a couple of other cities.
I see. That is pretty terrifying. I heard some commentators say that now that this cartel has been weakened, it's really just going to create a turf war, and we can expect a lot more violence in the days to come. And long story short, might want to cancel those spring break plans in Cabo.
Yes.
Are you aware that evidence has surfaced that the DOJ has withheld a certain subset of the Epstein files?
I believe I read a headline about them keeping things related to Trump a secret, but I don't know any more than that.
So as you know, the unredacted Epstein files have been made available to lawmakers under certain conditions during certain hours of the day on these select few computers. And in addition to that, it seems that there is evidence that even those unredacted files that they have access to have some missing pieces. Apparently there is someone who has gone on record, who has been interviewed by the FBI to say that she met Trump through Epstein, was assaulted by Trump, was forced into an oral sex encounter, or pressured into an oral sex encounter, and then threatened and beaten when she refused by Trump. And she was between the ages of 13 and 15 at the time of this assault. That is according to a statement from this anonymous survivor, that the reason we know about this interview, apparently some of the more eagle-eyed lawmakers have kept track of page numbers, and they were able to determine that there are certain page numbers or certain FBI interviews missing from this database that they have access to. And those happen to be the interviews that accuse Trump of assault of a minor. There is at least one interview with the same survivor that with the FBI where she does not name Trump, and that is among the searchable records in the database. So all of this points to something very sus, but it is. Go ahead.
Do you know if this is the same person that sued him and then withdrew the suit and never spoke of it again?
I do not know. We're not talking about E. Jean Carroll, right?
No. A woman known as Jane Doe filed multiple civil lawsuits in 2016 alleging that Trump raped her when she was 13 at parties hosted by Jeffrey Epstein in the 1990s in New York, and she claimed both Trump and Epstein knew her age. Those lawsuits were voluntarily withdrawn by the accuser before they could go to trial, and no criminal charges were brought in connection with her allegations.
So yeah, it sounds like that is the same case that you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So, wow. And fuck. And finally. And why is Congress doing the job of the DOJ? Literally, why is Congress having to investigate these files? It is literally the job of the Justice Department to do this.
Well, then your name is not Pam H. Bondi. I don't know what her middle initial is.
I was gonna say, what's the H stand for?
Horatio, I don't know.
Horatio.
Something tells me that it's the tip of the iceberg. There's so many files that... What?
Nothing, I'm just pushing it over. I'm tipping it over.
Oh, pushing it? Yeah. like even Sam Harris has given Trump the benefit of the doubt with regard to whether he's assaulted minors, but it seems pretty clear by Trump's attitude toward Jeffrey Epstein and like the birthday card that he sent him, and like the party, the like footage from parties where they can be seen ogling women and basically appreciating them for their youth and beauty. It seems that he knew and knows more than he ever let on, and that is damning enough. But if there's more to be found with regard to his actual assault of these underage people, I imagine that he's done. He's done.
I should fucking hope so. And then I'd like to put everyone in charge of the Justice Department on trial.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a crime. I mean, they're a direct violation of the Epstein Transparency Act.
And then I'd like to put Joe Biden and everyone in charge of the Justice Department during his term on trial.
But he's a Democrat. Yes, of course I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them all.
Fuck them all.
Total agreement. But yeah, if I say Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, does that ring a bell?
I can't tell if it's a false memory or not. Go for it.
It was one of Epstein's properties, and something in the Epstein files that have been released point to the allegation that there are bodies, female, a Logan Roy, no real person involved situation where they're okay pitching undocumenteds over the side of a ship and, calling it a no real person involved situation, bodies in this Zorro Ranch. And so some DA in New Mexico, or like the Attorney General of New Mexico, has opened a case to investigate this and try to recover the alleged remains of these alleged murders.
Fucking thank God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'll bet it was Trump in the observatory with the candlestick.
Trump in the sex dungeon with the dildo. Wow. Yeah. Apparently Lauren Boebert saw some seriously interesting shit in there too.
Really?
Although she is interpreting it, however she
Generously.
interprets it. I would love to get a Democrat in there to review the same exact files that she did to confirm or deny. But something about consumption and a restaurant called The Cannibal. The point is, there's some fucking serious shit in these files. And it's becoming clearer and clearer that somebody needs to help us understand why no one did anything about this before now.
I am not clear on that either, Jessica. And I am also quite curious.
This makes me feel like Trump is a puppet and our country is run by billionaires.
The Illuminati, the Epstein class, as
The Epstein class.
John Ossoff coined the term, the Epstein class, which many have hailed for its brilliance in not specifically calling out billionaires, like it's suggesting that it's a sin to be a billionaire. But these are the rich and powerful who diddle kids.
Yes.
They have nothing to do with your typical.
They're their own
scrupulous
category
builder.
of people. 1,000%, yes. The Epstein class. It makes me just desperately need transparency. Maybe this will be the thing that resets the cycle. Epstein, the great equalizer, you called it, I think.
Hate it when I'm right. I mean, I would have thought that January 6th would be the great equalizer. There's just no way that anyone could disagree on the events of that day. But lo and behold, there is still disagreement as to the merits of what went down that day. But diddling kids, I don't think there will be much disagreement on that.
We had to find something. This was it. We all draw the line here. Okay, thanks, bye.
I would like to think that even if we had succeeded, if our legal system had succeeded in holding Trump accountable for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election, there would still now be an appetite to achieve justice for these Epstein survivors, and this information would come out either way. So I'm not going to say it is a blessing in disguise that Trump was not held accountable for these things, because I still think that whatever we find him guilty of with regard to Epstein, we should still revisit the case where he tried to topple his own government.
I would love for that case to go to court.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I think every Congress member should be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on these Epstein files. Like, you get no weekends. Get in there. Figure it out.
I think they should maintain an 8-8-8 schedule of 8 hours perusing the files, 8 hours of leisure activity, and 8 hours of sleep, because that would ensure they come back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to consume the files the next day. Working 24 hours, 7 days a week is simply not realistic.
Fair. Perhaps
Swish.
Perhaps I'm more mean in a coordinated effort. Like, okay, Schumer, you take the 4 to 5 block, and okay, you take the 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. block. That's more what I mean by 24
Shift
hours.
work.
Shift work.
Yeah.
If it's good enough for the Navy, it's good enough for you.
I mean, I think that would require the files to be accessible at all hours, and I think they are only accessible during certain hours.
New law.
Why?
New law.
I mean, yeah, preaching to the choir here, girl. I think that it's absolutely absurd that they even put that restriction on it. Especially if their message to the world is, we're all about transparency. Most transparent administration ever.
Let's go.
Transparency now!
Serenity now! Serenity now!
I believe that was my last political stuff or thing.
I do have one tiny dessert piece.
Zelda?
No, actually. Oh, well, hang on. Let me see if I have any Zelda. Okay, I only have 3 Zelda things.
Okay.
1, are you aware that if you cook during the blood moon before midnight, from 11:30 to midnight, all of the things you cook become specialty, like they get a boost in whatever it is you're cooking them for?
No, did not know that.
Blood moon cooking.
Excellent.
In Castaway Part 3, you died so much in the mud around that axe. You kept trying to, you would go back, anytime you died and went back to the island, you would go straight for the axe. Or not straight for it, but you would always go to get the axe. And you died in the mud around it so often that I was definitely trying to channel to you, the axe is metal, the axe is metal, the axe is metal.
I think I only died twice in the mud.
At least 3 times. But
Really?
you
Okay.
also wasted a lot of your wing thingy.
Trying to get the axe. It's a metal jackpot. Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear that one.
No worries. Okay, your Eventide Island celebration, sir.
Did I celebrate? I thought I did.
You did in a fucking ironic.
Now I remember.
Yeah, I won the Eventide Islands. Yeah, you get these skips.
Performative way.
Just fucking with ya.
I appreciated it nonetheless, though. Okay. So this is a thing I had to look up because I was flabbergasted. So Gavin Newsom is making the rounds. He is running for president. We all know that, right? We all know this. So, you don't have to pretend. In fact, it's insulting. It's actually really insulting that you're pretending you're not running.
He was at Davos, walking around basically on the presumption that talking to other world leaders as though he was going to be the next leader of the free world.
Is there some secret club rule that says you can't say you're running for president until we decide who's running for president sort of bitchiness? I don't know. But let's all not pretend that you're not running for president. Okay. Gavin Newsom tells predominantly black crowd that he's just like them because he can't read well, is the headline.
That's that's like Trump saying, well, now I know what it's like to be a black person because I've been convicted of a crime. If Gavin Newsom truly said that, if that's not being taken out of context, that's some, that is what you call a gaffe.
It is a major gaffe. And then one other tiny thought experiment. If we didn't have ears, humans wouldn't know sound existed, meaning there's a possibility there's something going on around us at all times that we just don't have the body part to detect.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's certain frequencies. Are they called frequencies? There's certain colors that we cannot see. There's certain sounds that we cannot hear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they still constitute sights and sounds. Just the fact that we cannot see those on that part of the spectrum or here on that spectrum.
Yeah.
You're talking about like, is there a completely different signal or like are there particles?
Sense.
Yeah, a sense that we just don't have because it's not been evolutionarily useful to us. And I think, we're venturing into like theoretical physics here where we're like, there's any number of different kinds of particles, like the Higgs boson, that like it's so small that it doesn't actually interact with us, but maybe there's some species somewhere that like the Higgs boson has some detrimental effect, and so it's evolutionarily useful for them to know, to see it, or to feel it, or to sense it in some way, and that is a sense that they have that we don't, kind of thing. Yeah, interesting thought.
Makes one think. It's 9 p.m. How you feeling?
Let's do this thing.
All right. And we did indeed watch the State of the Union.
All 108 minutes of it.
There was alcohol involved for sure. However,
had we actually taken a shot for every predictive hit, we'd probably be in the hospital right now.
Oh yeah. Okay, thanks, bye!
Bye. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you want to check out the Unlimited Tangents version of our conversation, link is in the description.
Yes, and if you want to see us bring some steel to a particular topic, let us know in the comments.